I don't care to see myself as a victim ever. This is about like education of it fucking happens to everyone.
We might be behind a screen because we're a remote and digital agency, but we are human beings.
I understand self-sacrifice is a part of this game.
Yeah.
I knew that getting into it, but don't ever lose yourself in that sacrifice. Yeah.
People can't afford to do that. Welcome back to Generate Growth, the podcast where we probably aim to talk about e-com and growth and all the really exciting things and end up down all sorts of rabbit holes. Yeah.
Sounds like us.
Yeah, pretty much. Us as people, us in the business, all that jazz.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm good. You can see the cans are placed exactly where they were.
Yeah, I was waiting to be called out for that one, to be honest. Same outfit, same cans. You know,
Same day filming.
Yeah, same day filming.
It's so authentic, isn't it?
I suppose kind of a ironic way of starting
this
episode though. Obviously it's our relaunch episode today, and we've kind of been doing all these, and I've had my little prompts on my computer to kind of keep us on track. But I don't want to stick to the questions as much today because I want to have a bit more of like a human conversation.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it, when we're a couple? It's weird having a human conversation. But I just want to like allow you to take a little bit of time to kind of speak about growth and business and, you know, the relaunch, and fundamentally see what lessons you can kind of impart onto other founders as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to, I guess, give me a little bit of an in into why the relaunch and why Generate?
I think, you know, I don't find it surprising that the name Generate came to me in a dream. And I love telling people that story because it did. And I was just like, I just remember waking up and I'm like, wow, that is where I'm going to take the agency now.
Yeah.
Obviously my old agency, Develop Digital, was founded with Charlotte, my co-founder, and we had like the best time like learning and building and understanding that agency. And unfortunately, for like a number of reasons, we decided to kind of go down different paths. And it's unfortunate, but it's fortunate as well because
we've positive.
Yeah, we've got
so.
and we've been so fucking mature with it. Like we've been so mature. And I'm just so proud of both of us because you see these messy business fallouts that just get really entranced in ego and bullshit, and then you end up just falling by the wayside. But yeah, we're on different paths. We're still in touch. We speak like regularly. But ultimately, like when this was happening, I felt like an impending sense of doom. Yeah. I was like, this is our brand, mine and Charlotte's brand, and Charlotte was always the face of it, and I hid behind the scenes, and I was learning a lot, and I was growing a lot knowledge wise, but in terms of comfort zone wise, I was very much in my comfort zone of being a little geek in the background, and Charlotte was doing her thing in attracting clients, signing clients, and got us to where we needed to be. And when we made the decision for Charlotte to step down, it was a new kind of confidence unlock for me. It was like, can I do this? Like, is this going to be possible? And that is heavy to carry as like someone like you doubt yourself in ways that you never knew you could doubt yourself. And I'm sure you're going to dig into the reason why my self-confidence was so low at certain points. But I think like what was really important was understanding that this wasn't right for Charlotte, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be right for me. And Charlotte is going to go on to do amazing things. I know that. We have a lot of time and respect for each other. But now this is about generating growth, and that's exactly the name of this podcast. It's going to be the name of our newsletter, and it's fundamentally the mindset of anyone that works with us and anyone who works for us is going to have to encompass to get on my level. Yeah,
I love that. I think that distinction between you and Charlotte is so important anyway. I think people have had a tendency, like when you've been posting more on LinkedIn, you've kind of been getting those, where is Charlotte? And it's like, Charlotte's fine. Charlotte's thriving. She's over in Mexico.
She's loving life. And I can't wait to like eventually invite her onto it when she's actually back in this country so that we can tell our like story. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, she's literally fine. Like we're better than fine. I think that's the difference. We were in like some shitty places, and we never, testament to both of us, took that out on each other. Like, and unfortunately it just was, and again, fortunately, unfortunately, we just decided, right, okay, we're young. We found this business together, we've done amazing work together, we've learned so much, but you're over here and I'm over here, and we want to go in different directions.
Yeah.
And she wants to go down more the consultancy teaching route.
Yeah.
And I'm a doer. I like to get stuck in. So when you start to tap into that, you can almost stagnate as a business owner, and you're like, but I'm comfortable. Like, oh, Charlotte, you can just jump onto Instagram, or you can jump on LinkedIn, or you can start the podcast.
Yeah.
But really challenging yourself. And I think this is all about, like, this next phase is challenging yourself. Like, okay, how can I change? How can I develop? How can I unlock another skill set? Can I unlock another skill set? And what does failure look like? What does growth look like?
Yeah.
What can I learn from my failures? And ultimately, how do we get more growth? Like, all those things just start to build and compound.
Yeah. I think that's what's really interesting about that situation. For Charlotte, growth looked like completely grabbing the bull by its horns and saying, I don't want to do this in particular anymore. I want to take a completely different direction. But for you, growth looked more like continuing on the same trajectory that you were on, but doing it completely differently and completely reinventing it. So I guess it feels so weird asking you questions like this, because I know the answers anyway. But what does growth legitimately mean to you in business and in life?
I think, listen, growth is a difficult one, because growth looks different every single day to me. And I think that's why I'm kind of maybe wired differently. There's some days as a founder that you cannot get out of bed. Like, you're like so overwhelmed with, you know, every part of the business that it just feels on fire. And growth that day is getting up, getting in the shower, getting dressed, and churning out the same shit that you do every single day to make sure that this business is going to stabilize. And that's growth, because that is growth in consistency. I
think sometimes people don't realize that, though.
No.
I think sometimes days do look like the bare minimum. I think it looks like struggling to get into the shower, putting your pajamas back on, and working on the sofa with your laptop. Like, sometimes it does look like that. Like, growth is, it's a peaks and troughs thing, right? Yeah.
And then other times it can be, well, I hate speaking. I don't feel like I'm good at public speaking. I don't feel like...
Things like that.
And then I go, let's start a podcast and a YouTube channel and see how that goes, you know? And that's like I think there's two different types of growth. And I'm not claiming to be any sort of self-help guru, but there's consistent growth, where you run a consistent trajectory, which was what we provide our clients. And then there's that challenge growth where, again, client can have a shitty stock level period, and we have to adapt, and we can do the same thing. We throw another curveball out, we try something new, we experiment, and we see if it works or not, and we stick at it for a period. And I think that's what growth means to me on a fundamental business level, from a financial level, from a revenue perspective, but on an individual basis, turning up for yourself consistently. It doesn't have to be your miracle morning routine. It doesn't have to be like an over-exaggerated evening routine. It doesn't have to be like you've signed 10 clients this month. It doesn't have to be any of that shit. It can be that you turn up for yourself consistently throughout a period in which you never thought you could. And that builds that resiliency up.
Yeah, it's messy, isn't it?
Yeah,
growth fundamentally is messy.
And I think people get so put off by failure. And I love failing. I hate it when I'm in it. But like, when I fail, you'll know this, testament to my character, I'm like, I wallow in it a bit, like anyone does.
Yeah.
I let it sit with me a bit. It weighs heavy on my chest. I suffer with severe anxiety because of failure, because you never think you're going to be able to pick yourself up again. But then you dust yourself off and you go, right, okay, why did I fail? What did I fail on? And is it a failure or is it a learning lesson? And I think just that fundamental tweak of, is this failure or is this learning how to do things differently? Or learning a really fucking harsh lesson at times that you really didn't want to learn at that period in time. But you did anyway. And you come out the other side and you're resilient and you're stronger. That is growth.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it's such a good outlook to have as well, though. I think, obviously, it's such a classic novel. I think, is it Carol Dweck, the mindset one that goes on about fixed and growth mindsets?
Yeah.
I think the moment you get stuck in a fixed mindset, you're kind of done for, because you will stay in that comfort zone and there's no growth to be had in it.
I mean, sometimes, comfort zones, people think that these massive jumps,
they're not.
Me becoming the face of the brand, for a better phrase. but like me becoming at the forefront and the spokesperson for the brand and like representing the brand as a founder. But sometimes it can be as simple as you get on a team meeting and you want to like try something so small in a client's account that could change the trajectory of that client. I always remember that we worked with this brand on TikTok, and it was Charlotte, to be fair. She suggested this specific content idea. That brand never looked back. From that piece of content going viral, and I was jumping on that and plugging it into a strategy, it never went back.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can just be simple as trying something little. It was a reply to on TikTok. In the early infancies of like TikTok, literally a reply to. And I think like if you were in your comfort zone and you stayed with that fixed mindset, you would have never have moved out of like even a creative test, so small.
Yeah.
But you've tried it and you've unlocked something new, and even if it falls flat on its face, you know that that's the wrong path to go down. So don't do it again.
Yeah, I agree. Was there kind of like a moment for you then where you realised like the day-to-day it wasn't working and you needed to pivot things? Do you feel like you hit a block? Or
I never think, and there might be business owners out there that do think, I don't think you hit like this wall. I think you hit a bullshit wall and you decide change has got to happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's a gradual misalignment from your values.
Yeah.
Like, as a business owner, of course, revenue is king. Like, it's a queen. It's all you think about. Like, how are we going to get the next stage of growth? Blah, blah, blah. But I think for me, fundamentally, community within our agency and the vibes that we give and the values that we bring in the agency and the freedom to express and share and partner, they're all such important things. And what ends up happening is if you start to steer away from those values, even if they're your personal values, but it's a double whammy if they're your business values, then that's suddenly when you start to hate your business.
Yeah.
Like, and hate's a strong word, but you do. You start to detest to wake up in the morning and you're almost stuck in that job. And I think when you're doing the same things on repeat, but things don't feel like they're getting better, or you feel undervalued in your own business, or you feel like your values aren't being portrayed in the business, that's when your trust with yourself starts to break. And that's when your confidence starts to erode. So I never truly think there's like one thing that happens. Maybe it does, like on occasion, but I think that one thing is the tipping point for a lot of little build-ups in the day-to-day that end up compounding.
Yeah, it all compounds and then
the pressure just cracks.
Yeah. So if someone else is feeling that crack then, because obviously we work with a lot of very successful e-com brands, but, you know, success can come at a price and things can go wrong and, you know, life happens, whatever. What's the one thing that you'd say that is kind of like, this is something that's going to give you clarity, it's going to allow you to get into that next phase of growth?
I'm not going to go as cheesy as finding your why, because I think like that is like the bog standard of like finding your why. But I am going to say know why you're doing it. And I think know why is a kind of different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Because your why can be, why? Well, I feel like insecure about myself and I want the cash to fix XYZ issue in my life. But knowing why you feel insecure in yourself is completely different. So knowing your fundamentals and knowing who, like your makeup and why you're the way that you are, that ultimately is what will get you back on track.
Yeah.
So for example, I can't remember, we were talking about after one of my therapy sessions one time, and I was like, I get my therapist done a lot of parts work with me, and she turned around and she was like, you take on like tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I've heard that before and it washed over me a little bit, but then it went, then the therapist turned around and went, but you take on the responsibilities of other people's responsibilities. So I was like, what? And then it actually stuck with me, because I was like, the reason that I care so much in this agency isn't because I care for the money. It's because I care for the success of the clients.
Yeah.
And what that means for them. And what that can do for them and what that can turn them into, and like the powerhouses that can make them. I care more about that than I care about the financial side.
Yeah.
Like, And for me, that's my, like, I have to identify that as a superpower and something that's not going to hold me back.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, is when trust comes into play, and you can get burnt badly for those reasons.
Yeah. I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but I know damn well that goes well beyond the client as well. I know that obviously you do that with the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, for the last 2 years, you've very much made sure that your salary has been aligned with ensuring that everyone else's cup is filled first.
Yeah.
And I think that is such an admirable skill. And that is very much one of those things that is very, very difficult to keep within your comfort zone as well, because you lose your own stability by doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you do. So I suppose, what, other than the team, the clients, what's one of those things that keeps you going in the morning, just in business? Let's specify.
You know, I think I love learning.
Yeah.
I love learning. I love learning new things, and I'm just so in my, like, I just love marketing. Like, I know a lot of founders are like, you're building this business to be a business, but I love being involved in my business on the marketing fundamentals, because I love learning what makes people tick, what makes people buy, like what trends change, how people change, how macro factors affect things. And I think when you start to build up that, like, confidence and understanding of why, like, beyond the knowing why you're doing certain things, and then you can marry that. It's all, is it Ikigai or Ikigai? I don't know. Someone's going to
It's Japanese principle, isn't it? The little circles, kind of like a Venn diagram.
Yeah, when you find true happiness is when everything, like, overlaps.
Yeah.
Now, like, the agency isn't there right now.
Yeah.
Part of it's broke, because I'm in the day-to-day still. I'm still in service delivery with my team. And I'm still doing things within the agency that realistically I shouldn't be doing to be able to grow it quicker. Yeah. And so one of that bit is broke. But when you've got such passion for, like, the other bits, which is your motivation to be there and your enjoyment of what you're learning and doing within the business, then you can settle for a bit of that being broke.
Yeah.
Temporarily, of course. But you can settle somewhat.
Yeah.
And then the next part to fix. Like, I know now that I need to fix the low-hanging fruit in the agency so that I can become, you know, like, sell more podcasts or push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit more, you know, whatever that looks like, the next steps, that will happen naturally when I plug in the gaps. And that's what a part of, like, a good business growth strategy looks like.
Do you think there's anything in the last 2 years that you'd instantly say is, like, a red flag to another founder? Protect your energy, stay in your comfort zone on this one, you know, like, is there anything that you'd instantly be like,
sounds
just
too good for it to be true? It is.
It probably is.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
I hedge my bet on it every single time. If it sounds too good to be true, whether that's suppliers, dead cheap cost, you're compromising on product quality, whether you've got, like, a huge cash payout for something or other, it's probably too much to be true. Too good to be true, sorry. And I think that is a hard lesson to learn in business. When it's too good to be true, it probably is.
That's something that you learned.
Yeah, it is something that I learned. Unfortunately, we trusted a lot of people along the way. That I always say this, right? Me and Charlotte found each other at the point in which we were young, and we were exploring, and we wanted to, like, check ourselves and see what we wanted to do, and, like, really grow and develop ourselves. And I said this to her last year when we done our, like, business breakup, but we were talking. I was like, we looked out at that point when we found each other in business. We looked out for, like, a quiet. We spent our luck.
Yeah.
Because we managed to get and scale so quickly. We scaled to 7 figures within 2 years.
Yeah.
That's so fucking impressive, Rachel. But that's because we're authentic, and we managed to really portray that in what we were doing, and we managed to provide a good service. All that builds to us. Like, you don't get lucky on building, like, an over £1 million business. You know what I mean? It's not luck. It becomes, like, consistency and systems, right? Unfortunately, during that period, like, I feel like we spent a lot of our luck, because we found each other and we managed to build the system, and there's just not as authentic as people as I was very lucky that Charlotte was my business partner and didn't take
Very
advantage of
much
us. And when 2024 hit, we got offered the world. It was, we were very sensible. We saved up quite a lot of capital because we knew we wanted to invest in our futures, and we wanted something that was going to challenge us and grow us outside of our comfort zone. And we got offered that, and within 9 months, it had all burnt to the ground. The money was misappropriated. So legal's probably going to be... The money was misappropriated. It was in the hundreds of thousands. It was not a small bit of money. And during that period, we had to pretend everything was okay. We had to really, like, we had clients kicking off because every agency has clients kicking off. Like, it's standard. It's just like expecting to run an e-com brand with no returns. It doesn't happen. We had clients that were being incensed, especially because it was around the Q4 period. It was my 30th birthday. And I just found out that we just had our future stolen from us. And it wasn't even the cash. It was the fact that they took us on this journey of making us believe that we were their family members. And I still say to this day that was more painful, and people have to understand the whole story behind the reason why the funds were so high and so consistently sent to these people, because the manipulation and the tactics around what had happened to us were fucking awful. And then we come out like the other end and we decide that the new year was the fresh start, and this was 2025, this was last year. And we said we're going to sell the agency. And we did. We sold the agency. We sold Develop Digital. But unfortunately, in the state of a 30-day period, we were on a deferred consideration, which is where we were taking monthly payments. And the reason that we did that is because, again, putting others in front of us. And putting others in front of ourselves. We practically said, you know, we want you to have a good chance of growing this agency and the people inside of it. That was the whole reason that we did the deal the way that we did. And within a 30-day period, all the bank account had been completely fucking drained, and all the money was gone. And we didn't know how we were going to make payroll that month. And we had to pretend everything was okay.
I know.
And that's been the theme since like February last year.
Well, I mean, that happened, and then you still had a team member come on board around about the same time, and then they spent about 50% of their time working, stole loads of resources, and affiliated themselves with some really dangerous people. So it was just kind of like this recurring pattern of horrible shit happening
on a consistent repeat.
That most people could not even imagine experiencing once in their lives. And it was like within not even a 12-month period, like an 8-month period, all these people had just come in and caused all this damage.
It was just violations after violations.
Absolutely.
And you hear it all the time, like with brand owners who trusted a supplier or an agency. And I think this is where I really value authenticity over anything in anything that I'm building. And, you know, I'd like to say I'm a little bit like Marmite. You either get it or you don't, and you like it or you don't. And I think, like, as a part of growth as well, I've come to accept that. And over the past 2, like, me and Charlotte I just remember, and then our solicitors let us down in this, and then we've had to kind of come up with creative options like beyond that and build the business back up and still provide a fucking good service. Like all these things still continue to happen. Our clients wouldn't have known this, and some of our clients had been with us, onboarded with us, like as this was happening, and would have had no clue.
I know.
The systems and the structures stayed the exact same. There was no pressure put on the team during this period to perform or find another client. You know, there was none of this. We took that personal burden and responsibility in ourselves. And life's, and this is why I like to say, like, failures aren't failures. They're learning lessons. And there was so much to learn in that 8-month period that, you know, business, sometimes you have to put, like, there has to be a limit on when you put others first, and you have to put yourself first at a certain point and protect your own mental health and, like, your brain space. And that is what 2026 is about. This is what this agency is about. Like, this is why it's built fundamentally into all of our systems to, at the core of everything, look after our clients' mental health, because we know you all have it tough.
Oh, yeah.
We
100%.
know it's shit. Like, we know it because we've got businesses too. Like, and I think, like, fundamentally understanding our ideal client, understanding who wants to jump on board with us, and really seeking that predictability and scale, that's what we're after.
Yeah, it's quite funny that you mentioned clients in that capacity, because my brain instantly went to a few weeks ago when I sent that invoice through to the client, and they'd had invoicing issues for a while. Like, it just wasn't working due to the way that they have their bank set up. So the invoice bounced, and I emailed them and I was like, it's fine, there's no problem our side, just clear the invoice when you can. And he must have been having a really shit day, and he just snapped at me. But I think more so than anything, all this kind of like misplaced trust and all these lessons in growth, it just means you've got more compassion for the people that you work with. Whether it's a team member, whether it's a client. I show up every single day. And I want to give everyone my all. And if I can't give them my all, for whatever reason, because I also struggle with my mental health, I will turn around and say, I'm struggling right now to show up and do X, Y, Z. Can I offer you X instead? You know, and I think that's one of the things that is so embodied into the agency. It's that honesty and that transparency. It's like, you will not, I mean, I know you're making your legal joke for obvious reasons, but you will not sit around and pretend that you made bad decisions in business, because that didn't happen. You're like, these funds were misappropriated due to the fact that these people fundamentally came in and like almost groomed, for lack of a better description, and really played on that emotional side of both yourself and Charlotte. And fundamentally, you're left in this vulnerable position. But the one skill that you have had consistently throughout is that you've bounced back from it. You absolutely consistently fall back onto growth. You go, it's a hurdle, sure. It might be a huge fucking hurdle.
It kicks me a bit.
Yeah, it might be like tripping over, scuffing every single part of your knee kind of hurdle. But you get back up, you put your Germaline on, and you carry on.
I think, you know, there's a lot to say in people and their actions and the way that they are. It's funny you say the word groomed, right? Because dealing in this specific situation, this person only ever got agitated twice, like beyond, like, I mean, hysterically agitated, because they're a cool, calm character. That's the way that they operate.
Snake oil salesman.
Yeah, snake oil salesman. And I think, like, specifically in this situation, there was 2 times, and I remember them. And it was one time when we accused them of grooming, and it was the other time when we told them they were misappropriating our funds. 2 times. That, and if one was true, what does that mean of the other? Right? I don't care to see myself as a victim ever. Like, this isn't about being a victim. This is about, like, education of it fucking happens to everyone. I get the label all the time, like, smartest person I know. People say it to me all the time, and it's a heavy burden to carry. Like, I don't see myself that way. I see myself as someone who can absorb information quickly. I don't necessarily think that makes me smart, but people do give me that label, and I've had that since I was a kid. And when you're the smartest person in the room, or the smartest person someone knows, and I've had the shit ripped out of me over the past 2 years in business, that fundamentally plays on your confidence like no other. It really,
pressure.
It's so much pressure, but your self-confidence deteriorates so much. And you have to find that in yourself again, of like, what makes you confident, what's going to build you back up. And that can be anything from changing the way you eat to give you a bit of confidence in the way that you look and like your physical appearance. It can be changing a part of your routine that you never thought was going to be possible. It can be running a half marathon in the middle of all this.
With no training.
With no training.
And no running socks.
I found out what running socks were afterwards when I couldn't walk for 7 days. You have to find yourself again and find those little bits of situations that will give you the self-confidence back. And it's not often I say that I'm proud of myself. I'll always say I'm proud of other people. I have a lot of pride in my team, my clients. I have a lot of pride in my family. Like, I have a lot of pride for others. But I have, like, I really struggle to say that I'm proud of myself, but I think I'm proud of myself this year. I've come out the other end, coming back stronger, coming back harder. I've learned a lot of lessons. I'm going to continue to learn some fucking lessons, I know that. And we're gonna come out the other side of this, and we're gonna come out stronger. And in it, I've never fucking strayed away from my values. I have never ripped off someone. I've never ever stole from someone. I've never built a service to just leak cash from people. Everything that I've always done in this agency, and I can say that with my whole chest, has been done from an authenticate. Like when I was with Charlotte as well, it's been from an authentic like way of being.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think I'm definitely proud of you on both business and personal levels. I've definitely seen all that growth within you, and I've seen all the struggles, so I know exactly how it feels. But I think fundamentally, we don't sit here and have this conversation, as you said, to have a pity party. It's not about that. It is about having the conversation of being human beings, because we are. Yeah. We might be behind a screen because we're a remote and digital agency, but we are human beings at the end of the day. And we also understand that all the clients are human beings too. We get it. We understand the amount of pressure that you're in to grow. We understand the amount of pressure that you're probably putting on yourselves personally to grow along with your business, because we have been there.
Yeah, 100%.
We get it.
Yeah, we get it. And I think that's what this is all about. Like, generate means so much, because it doesn't just mean generating results or revenue. Yeah. It means generating like that growth, confidence. Yeah. Anything it is to get you to that next level of like leveling up as a human being.
Yeah, and it's why we wanted to have this conversation so early on as well in this podcast, because we just want to cut through the bullshit.
Yeah, this is the line now. Like, I obviously can't go in and what about what's happened, but I think people will be able
eventually.
to. Yeah.
So keep watching.
Yeah. Might be a gossip episode, but I think there's a reading in between the lines, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what happened. But at the same time, nothing changed from an agency standpoint. So if that's not testament to how cool, calm, and collected as a service we are, I don't know what. I don't know what will be, because even when we're in the thick of the shit and we're in the thick of the business and we're in the thick of the problems that come with business, we always prioritize the client experience and fundamentally our fulfillment team before anything else.
Yeah, I love that. I just want to say thank you for obviously sharing it in front of a camera. Feels weird doing that, doesn't it?
I keep crying at the minute. I'm not even a crier, but I keep crying at the minute. I didn't cry, so yeah, we're still smiling, we're still going, and if you're gonna rip me off, you're gonna have to try better next time, because I'm still going somehow.
You're not gonna look into one of the cameras and just go, try harder. Let's close off then in a second. But what's one piece of advice that you'd give to a founder, like one of our clients, let's say?
I understand self-sacrifice is a part of this game. I knew that getting into it, but don't ever lose yourself in that sacrifice. Yeah. Because once you lose yourself, you're just so disconnected from who you are. And I think knowing where the line is of losing yourself and building yourself back up again is fundamentally the difference between a founder and a leader versus a business owner and a CEO. You know? And I think that's ultimately the difference.
I love that. I think that's a really great answer. I think the moment that the sacrifice becomes yours personally is when you've gone too far.
Yeah. And I don't even mean like financially or anything like that. I mean like when your mind has gone with it. Yeah. You fucked it.
You can't just lose yourself. Yeah. People can't afford to do that. I mean, I preach this, and you've heard this 5,000 times, but fill your own cup first. Yeah. You've got to. Nobody can fill from an empty cup. And as a result, you have to come before everything else does. Yeah. And that's that.
100%.
Have it gave you loads of anxiety?
Yeah, I need maybe a good pint of Guinness and a burger, and then we're good to go again.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah. So is that where we're popping off to now then?
Yeah, I think so.
Amazing.
definitely agree with that. It's a good job it's almost 5 p.m, isn't it?
Yeah, almost.
Almost.
We'll blur the lines a little bit there.
Thank you so much for obviously having that conversation today. I think it was a really important one to have. Next week we can delve into some AI if you want to get a bit nerdy.
Yeah, let's get a bit geeky with it.
Yeah.
Shopify specific.
Yeah, Shopify AI.
Shopify AI.
That's the one.
Amazing. Are we signing off the way that we sign off to your meetings?
We're signing off the way that we sign off to your meetings.
I want to do it.
Oh, I feel like I'll butcher the accent. So maybe I shouldn't.
You need to have an element of trust within your team to unlock different AI. Please, because it drives me mad.
M-hate.
Yeah, M-hate.
We're not having it. Thank you so much for talking to me about all things AI today. Yeah. I feel like I've kind of left this a few IQ points smarter than I came into it.
That's good to hear.
I don't know though.